Thanks, Adrian. Very good evening to you, wherever and however you're listening to Talksport. Well, Manchester United as a football club have always been pretty good at PR. So how about post-Ronaldo? That's what they face now, that CR7 has departed OT and gone elsewhere. Well, maybe Marcus Rashford can fit that role that Manchester United fans dearly love to have. Someone to crave as a hero. He's their top scorer. He scored a wonder goal here last week against Burnley in the League Cup. He's come back from the World Cup with England looking refreshed and revitalised. Maybe he is the go-to hero for the Old Trafford faithful. Nottingham Forest, arguably probably the side most benefiting from having had a month to be coached by Steve Cooper whilst the World Cup has been going on, so players actually get to know each other. But in the run-up to the break, they were in decent form. 3 clean sheets in their last 5 Premier League games, and they only lost once. That, though, was a heavy defeat at Arsenal by 5-0. Manchester United make 4 changes from that win against Burnley. Eric Ten Hag recalls David De Gea, Luke Shaw, Rafael Varane and Antony. The issue is that there's only one recognised centre-half in Rafael Varane, so Luke Shaw looks like he's playing alongside Rafael Varane. De Gea in goal, Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Shaw and Malacia in the back 4, Casemiro and Eriksen holding in midfield, then Antony, Bruno Fernandes and Rashford behind Martial. So I've given you the Manchester United lineup. Nottingham Forest, well, they played in the Cup last week as well, and they won handsomely at Blackburn Rovers by 4-1. Steve Cooper makes 3 changes. He's forced to change goalkeeper. Dean Henderson can't play against his former club. So Wayne Hennessy, whose last 4 Premier League appearances have come in 2019, 2020, 2021, and this year 2022, he comes in. Serge Aurier at right back is in for Nico Williams, and Renan Lodi, who scored here when Atletico knocked Manchester United out of the Champions League last year, he's in at left back for Harry Toffolo. Wayne Hennessy then the keeper, Serge Aurier, Joe Worrell, Willy Bolly and Renan Lodi across the back, Ryan Yates, Remo Freuler and Oro Mangala in midfield, and then Brennan Johnson, Taiwo Awoniyi and Jesse Lingard, once of Manchester United, up front. Just before we get underway, Alex Crook, our commentator in the last game at Chelsea, has confirmed to us, Graham Potter tells him Reece James' injury is the same knee that ruled him out of the World Cup, but he couldn't give a timescale to Alex on how long Reece James might be out for on this occasion. We're underway at Old Trafford for yet another exclusive Talksport commentary in this Christmas period. Manchester United defending the Stretford end away to our left as Mickey, Adrian and myself sit in the Bobby Charlton stand just over the halfway line towards the east stand end. Nottingham Forest fans in the southeast corner who've been making plenty of noise. United in their traditional red shirts, white shorts, black socks, and Forest look like Brazil. Just not quite enough green, yellow and blue for Forest tonight. Aaron Wan-Bissaka made his first start of the season against Burnley, and he made 2 appearances for Manchester United in 2021. He's been drip-fed appearances. Gets the ball forward to Martial, but Forest snuff out the danger, and Joe Worrell tries to hit the ball long downfield for Brennan Johnson, but it's too long and too straight, and David De Gea can collect as we say good evening once again to Mickey Gray.
Dance, very good evening to you on a wet and windy Old Trafford in Manchester.
I wasn't going to mention it. I wasn't going to indulge in the lazy stereotypes, but they haven't needed to water the pitch with the sprinklers.
Yeah, you two all right? Yeah, you're warm enough.
That's fine. I haven't got a heated gilet on. I'll leave that to Mr. Matterface. Long ball downfield, looking to get Rashford away, playing on the left of the 3, but headed clear by Aurier. Mangala lofts it over half when Lingard gets his first touch and does find Awoniyi pressurising Wan-Bissaka down the Forest left, but Wan-Bissaka sticks to his task well, gets down towards the corner flag by the tunnel end, does really well, but then given away by Casemiro, and Forest have it back. It's Ryan Yates, the academy graduate, sending it out to the right wing, and Aurier, he's got Malacia out there with him, about 15 yards from the corner flag, hugging that far touchline, with Forest attacking the Stretford end. Played in field, Lingard takes over. There's 3 in the box waiting for a cross, now 2. There's only Awoniyi in there. Aurier again works it in field. Lingard lays it off to Yates, and they try and work it down the right hand side for Aurier. He's onside, whips the ball into the near post, headed up in the air by Shaw, who, don't forget, he's playing as a centre half tonight. Harry Maguire is on the bench, but he's still recovering from the illness, says Eric Ten Hag, that forced him to sit out against Burnley. But Ten Hag saying He wants to be a part of it.
Well, after a bit of a scrappy start from Nottingham Forest, I mean, it was a decent move. They got the ball down, played some nice football. You've got to try and test this back line of Manchester United, see if they're up for the test tonight. Put that ball into the area, certainly through the middle, alongside Luke Shaw. I'm sure he's capable of playing as a centre-half, but it's something that I've never heard of him doing. I must be honest with you, Dance, but you have to try and get the ball forward, but you've got to do it with a bit of quality.
Manchester United 0, Nottingham Forest 0. We've played a couple of minutes. Forest win the ball back. Joe Worrell doing really well to get the ball off Bruno Fernandes. Forest try and tease it up to halfway, but Casemiro, as he so often is there to tidy up for Manchester United. Malacia flicks the ball in field for Christian Eriksen, who Mickey Gray had a chat with at Carrington earlier this week.
Yeah, I went over to the training ground on Thursday, himself and Lindelof.
Oh, it's lovely ball picking out Wan-Bissaka, tries to send the ball into the area, and there's enough Forest players back. Aouanise, one of them skips away from two challenges, burst through a third, and now he's herring after the ball over halfway, forcing Varane just to quicken his pace and guide the ball back to David De Gea. 0-0.
Yeah, I went on Thursday to meet the two players, and they were just telling me about the camaraderie at the club and how things have changed under Erik ten Hag, and I think we're seeing the signs of that, Dance. There's no doubt about it. The football certainly improved at Manchester United, but that's come on the back of signings like Christian Eriksen, Casemiro, Varane. Improved so much.
Now way down the left-hand side goes Eriksen. 0-0 here. Early goal at Turf Moor in the Championship. Talksport's Graham Beecroft.
Very much so. It's gone to Burnley. Burnley 1, Birmingham City 0. And it's Anas Sarori who scored it after a neat move down the right-hand side. The defence of Birmingham City was opened up, and there was Sarori from round about 8 yards out to lash the ball right-footed into the goal. Burnley 1, Birmingham City 0.
He's offside. Eriksen out to the left-hand side for Malacia. 0-0 here at Old Trafford. Ball worked into the box, looking for Martial, but again Worrell, who's been very active in these opening minutes for Forest, stuck out a long leg and kept it away from Martial. Goes out for a Manchester United throw on the far side, just inside the Forest half. 0-0.
He started really sharp, Joe Worrell. He's going to have to do that because Anthony Martial looks lively, playing through the middle. He's playing on shoulders. He's trying to get in behind, just trying to nick in front of Worrell there, but great defending. Man United, a little bit of possession themselves now, just growing into this game.
Anthony, first involvement we've seen from him on this right-hand side in the Manchester United 4-2-3-1 formation. It's worked back to Eriksen, darting through the centre circle. A little dummy by Bruno Fernandes. Eriksen's made a run into the area, lays it off for Wan-Bissaka. First time ball to the far post, brought down by Rashford, trying to wake the room for the shot. The shot is blocked. Comes out to the left-hand side. Malacia drives it in, and it's blocked by Hennessy onto the post, and somehow Forest smuggle it clear. Out for a throw. 0-0.
What a strike from Malacia over that left-hand side. I thought Marcus Rashford, as the ball got put into the area, actually could have taken that on first time. He had a couple of touches, got blocked, fell back to Malacia. What a super strike. It's like Wayne Hennessy actually got something on it. Go down as a great save, but big chance for Manchester United.
But it stays 0-0 on Talksport in this exclusive Premier League commentary, and we've still got one more to come tomorrow that is exclusive on national radio to us and us alone. Leeds United, Manchester City. Adrian will be there hosting from Ellen Road. Definitely got a touch off Hennessy onto the post, that chance from Malacia as he drove it in fiercely from the left-hand side of the box. Manchester United have won themselves a throw, midway point of their own half, unbeaten in 7 home games. Manchester United, and one of the 10 reasons to be positive that Erik ten Hag noted in the programme was about the home form at Old Trafford, Mickey.
Yes, and we've always talked about it for years and years, haven't we, about making your home ground a fortress. Well, certainly in my time, Old Trafford was that fortress, and I think the more sides have come over the years, they've felt more confident in the sides that they've been up against, and they've come away from here with results that maybe surprised a few people, but now you can see it. I mean, Adrian was talking about before kick-off about band of brothers all working for each other, and I think you can start to see that now, and the squad looks healthy. There's competition for places. You can certainly see the performances have improved, no doubt.
0-0. There's a slight delay because Brennan Johnson caught one in the unmentionables from Luke Shaw on the far touchline, but he's all right. He's countered them, and we're able to continue. Ball slipped through from Casemiro, trying to find its way through to Eriksen and Wan-Bissaka, who were actually the furthest forward, but Hennessy, the Forest keeper, will clear downfield. Breaks on halfway for Ryan Yates. Yates has got Aurier on his outside, just inside the United half, but elects to work it back into the Forest half of the field. Mangala quickly closed down by Bruno Fernandes and was fouled by him, even though it looked like he was being dispossessed and Manchester United were about to launch a counter-attack. Free kick, 0-0.
Well, if you're going to play those balls from right back into the centre midfield area, you've got to put it in with a lot of fears. It's got to be crisp. Mangala did really well. It was a super first touch. But you give the ball away in that area, it just gives Manchester United the opportunity to get themselves on the front foot, counter-attacking football, and with the pace that they've got, that's where they're going to cause the problems to you.
Ball's back with Luke Shaw, playing centre-half tonight, remember, at the edge of his own area. Passes forward 5 yards to Casemiro. Square ball to Varane, who can just trot towards the halfway line. Nobody contesting him in a yellow Forest shirt until he gets just next to the halfway line. Squared inside for Shaw. And now taken over by Ericsson, dropping deep. Gives the ball back to Varane. The rain still thumping down here at Old Trafford. He's showing up in the floodlights, swirling around the Alex Ferguson stand opposite us. Lingard tries to win it back for Forest against his old club down this near touchline, but it's out of play for a throw. 0-0. We've played just over 8 minutes on Talksport.
And it's pretty level, isn't it? I mean, Nottingham Forest are a lot more direct than Manchester United. They've had a little half opportunity themselves, put a decent ball into the area, but Man United are still, I think there's certain individuals still trying to find their feet. Talked about the weather dance and the water, the rain flying down at the moment. A few players fallen to ground. Anthony on a couple of occasions over on this right-hand side, but so far so good for Nottingham Forest.
Mangala on halfway for Nottingham Forest, looking to fire it forward to Brendan Johnson. He loses his footing as he tried to spin and turn down the right-hand side, but in fairness, the ball towards him was overhit by Mangala, and so Luke Shaw carry it for a few yards and pass it to Ericsson, always willing to receive the ball. Ericsson turn and hit it long downfield, looking for the run of Rashford, but again Joe Worrell is there. Yates picks it up, trying to roll the challenge of Bruno Fernandes, clips the ball downfield looking for Awaniyi, but a good strong header clear by Rafael Varane. Fernandes gives it back to Shaw, just inside his own half. 0-0 on Talksport. Wan-Bissaka now, is he a target for his old club Crystal Palace when the transfer window opens next month? Dalot out with a hamstring injury, of course, the arguably first choice right back for Manchester United right now. Anthony trying to play the ball out to the left hand side, but telegraphed it somewhat, and Forest win it back, and suddenly Lingard is trying to release Awaniyi, but Rafael Varane had his positioning spot on and headed it away from the Forest number 9. 0-0.
Well, if Jesse Lingard had just had a look out to his right hand side, he had a simpler pass on. He's tried to play the worldy one, a reverse pass over the top of Rafael Varane. It was a 3v2 situation after Anthony gave her the ball away. It's that one again, Dance, coming inside with your left foot. You give the ball away, everybody's out of position.
Thoughts of Mickey Gray, former England defender, with us tonight on Talksport. Manchester United 0, Nottingham Forest 0. We've reached the 10-minute mark. Forest fans won't need me to remind you that the last competitive game between these two teams was played out at the City Ground in February 1999. That was the 8-1. You might remember Ole Gunnar Solskjaer coming on and scoring 4 goals in 10 minutes as a substitute that day in the East Midlands. Now here's Serge Aurier collecting the ball over halfway. He'll keep it in play on the far side of the field. The rain seems to intensify here, if anything. Lingard just touches it out to the right wing for Brendan Johnson. Got 2 Manchester United players for company, so he checks his run, turns inside, and Aurier works it back to the Forest Academy graduate Joe Worrell. Willy Bolly wants the Wolves on halfway. Plays a 1-2 with Mangala, still has it Bolly, and then plays it out to the left-hand side for Lodi with an early ball looking for Lingard. Right idea, but overhit the pass and it just skipped through to De Gea off the greasy surface. 0-0.
Yeah, patient play from Nottingham Forest there. Worked it really well to the left-hand side. You could see every Manchester United player, apart from Anthony Martial, behind the ball. When you get into those positions there, Jesse Lingard makes that run. You've just got to be a bit more careful with the final pass. Yes, it's difficult because it's condensed in there, but those are the positions that Nottingham Forest have got to find themselves.
Bolly for Forest. Gets the ball up to the edge of the centre circle, and he gets it back from Mangala. Decides to play the ball through halfway. Lingard can turn, tries to play the ball through the eye of a needle for Awaniyi, and again there's Varane there to intercept. And the ball hit early downfield by Casemiro, but Bolly with a strong header to win it back. Forest growing in confidence here in the last couple of minutes. Lingard again on the left wing, finds Mangala, spreads play out to the right-hand side. Yates has got Aurier on the overlap, but Yates is continuing to the right-hand corner of the penalty area, goes beyond Ericsson, gets to the byline and wins a corner for Nottingham Forest. Great run from Ryan Yates, and encouragement for the Forest fans in the southeast corner to our right. 0-0.
Well, if I'm Terrell Malaysia, I'm saying to Marcus Rashford now, look, you've got to help me out. It's okay when you pick the ball up when you're running at defenders, but you've got to help your fullback out at times. He's languished his way back into the 18-yard area. He's given Yates the opportunity to get a 1v1 situation with his side of corner. I don't think Man United have started this game bright at all.
Renan Lodi, he's on loan from Atletico Madrid, scored here against Manchester United in the Champions League second leg in the round of 16 last season, a result that knocked Manchester United out of the competition. He's taking the corner where the Stretford end meets the Sir Alex Ferguson stand, so a left-footed in-swinger coming from the left back. Bit of zonal marking from United, comes into the near post, headed out by Malacia, and first onto the scene is Anthony. Gets over the halfway line. What's he got? He's got Rashford to his right, tries to find him. He was caught as he released the ball, but Anthony Taylor has not blown for a free kick, and it's picked up by Marcus Rashford. But by now Forest have got everybody behind the ball. 0-0.
For a player who's fantastic with the ball at his feet, running at defenders, he never looked as if he was in control of that, Anthony. There was nobody around him. He's got his head up and tried to play a diagonal pass. He's got it completely wrong.
Malacia out to Rashford, right-hand corner of the box. Wan-Bissaka on the underlap, played the ball into the near post. It almost ricocheted into the path of Martial right in front of goal. Guess who was there again? Joe Worrell for Nottingham Forest. 0-0.
Absolutely fantastic. He started the game ever so well, Dante has. What Man United have done over the last minute or so has brought Rashford over to the right-hand side. He's not really had much joy on the left-hand side, and Anthony's gone over to the left. As soon as he does that, little pass around the corner to Wan-Bissaka, and something happens for Man United.
Attempted back heel from Anthony, doesn't work. Forest get it half clear, but back comes Casemiro to win it back inside the Forest half. Bruno Fernandes looking to slide it down the right wing for Wan-Bissaka. Lodi slides in, gets it half clear, but Rashford picks it up 10 yards from the corner flag. Fernandes and then Casemiro turn it infield to Ericsson in the centre of the Forest half, looking to shape to shoot. Ericsson goes with his left foot, blocked by Worrell there again for Nottingham Forest, and Shaw will retrieve it just ahead of the halfway line for Manchester United. Clips it down the left wing, looking for the run of Bruno Fernandes, but Aurier intercepts this time, and Mangala will tidy up and give it back to his goalkeeper. Manchester United 0, Nottingham Forest 0. Live and exclusive on Talksport. Nicky Gray.
Just started to spring into life a little bit, Manchester United. A lot of possession now, just around the edge of the 18-yard area. Christian Eriksen working on to his weaker left foot. It's not too weak, though. It's not too bad, is it? But that's what they have to do. I think they've got to stretch the pitch a little bit more. It's all in front of Nottingham Forest. It's making it easy for that back line. As you mentioned there before as well, Joe Worrell started the game ever so well. Right-sided centre-back, but Man United look better when they pass the ball faster and quicker and crisper and play through the lines.
Martial looking for Ericsson. 0-0 on Talksport if you're just tuning in to our exclusive national radio commentary of 5th place Manchester United against second bottom Nottingham Forest. United can't improve their position with a win tonight, but Forest definitely can. They can go up to 15th. Down the left-hand side goes Rashford. He's switched back to that left-hand side. Ball's come out for a corner to United at the East Stand end. You're listening to Manchester United 0, Nottingham Forest 0 on Talksport with Now Sports. Don't forget that with Now Sports you can stream the Premier League live without a contract from £11.99. You search Now Sports 18+, stream via internet, terms apply. So a corner for Manchester United where the Alex Ferguson stand meets the East Stand, on the opposite side to our commentary position. Ericsson hands on hips, preparing to deliver the corner in. Right-footed in-swinger into the near post, hits the first defender, Aurier. Shaw heads it back into the box, but that'll bounce comfortably through for Wayne Hennessy. 104 caps. The last of those saw him get sent off against Iran at the World Cup, Wayne Hennessy. He boots the ball out and finds Lingard inside the United half down the left-hand side. Avani tries to ride the challenge of Bruno Fernandes, but the Portuguese, who is still here at Manchester United, slides in, puts it out for a Forest throw. 0-0.
Yeah, good play there from Bruno Fernandes, helping out defenders there. Again, Wayne Hennessy, technically very good with his feet. Dancer, player I was at Wolverhampton Wanderers with for a couple of seasons as well. Really nice guy. Gets his chance tonight. What a big occasion this is for Wayne.
Here's Malacia for Manchester United. driving towards the halfway line from left back. He's taking Brennan Johnson with him, hits the ball against Aurier, and it ricochets conveniently for Forest, and Aurier has it again, far side just over the halfway line, with Forest in their yellow chain strip with yellow socks and blue shorts. They're attacking the Stretford end away to our left in this first half. Eric Ten Hag standing, letting the rain soak his shaven head at the edge of his technical area. Steve Cooper taking cover meantime a few rows back in the stand. They changed it round, didn't they? So the Manchester United dugout is on the left-hand side as we look down. It used to be on the right, of course.
Don't know what the meaning of that is, but
nor do I.
It's certainly something that they've done.
It's probably a 10-page thesis on why they've done it. Normally it's big football clubs and they make these sorts of decisions. Manchester United 0, Nottingham Forest 0. We played 18 minutes on Talksport. Biggest chance has gone to Manchester United. Malacia with a firm drive, touched onto the post by Wayne Hennessy in the early exchanges. Here's Wan-Bissaka finding Casemiro. Anthony down the right hand side might have won a corner. I think he has indeed. Took the final touch off Willy Bolly, and the second corner of the game to Manchester United at the East stand end, 0-0.
Yeah, that's better from Anthony. One of running at defenders, committing defenders to come out, and then you have the overlap and runner. Gives Manchester United, puts them in better positions. And let's hope this corner for Manchester United's sake is a better one than the first one that Ericsson took.
Well, the Dane is standing over it once again, so right-footed outswinger, because it's on our side, at the Bobby Charlton side of the ground, where it meets the East stand, right in front of the Forest supporters who've travelled up here. It's along the deck into the near post, and a brilliant finish by Marcus Rashford. Manchester United 1, Nottingham Forest 0, and Rashford continues his World Cup form in sensational style, not only into the EFL Cup against Burnley, but here tonight in the Premier League, one off the training ground. Ericsson rolled it along the deck into the area, and it was lashed home gleefully by Marcus Rashford for his 5th of the season in the Premier League. It is Manchester United 1, Nottingham Forest 0.
Class. That's what it is. Christian Eriksen, actually when he initially first took that corner, I thought he got it completely wrong. Well, that's why he's out there, and that's why I'm sat here talking. He's just brilliant. The thought behind that, it's obviously something they've worked on in training. And Marcus Rashford's run is first class. Gets away from his man. He's got acres of space. You can't get that much space in an 18-yard area. You've just got to make contact with all the paces on the cross, and he just directs that towards the goal. A man full of confidence at the minute. And as it's heading towards that goal, it gives Wayne Hennessy absolutely no chance. Brilliant finish from Rashford.
Already getting to work on his second century of Manchester United goals, Marcus Rashford. And as we reach the 20-minute mark, the Red Devils hit the front through the smiling Marcus Rashford. A countenance a world away from the Marcus Rashford we saw quite often last season, when he didn't look like he was enjoying his football at all. But boy, is he enjoying his football right now.
I mean, you're watching the game, Dan, aren't you? You're thinking, right, somebody just needs to give it a bit of a spark. It needs to light up a little bit. It was end-to-end without any real quality in that final third. Well, that was just absolutely top class. Two players, banging form. Christian Eriksen, I mean, you talk about hitting the ground running at a new club. He's certainly done that. And, I mean, the pass, to see that, to work on it, and then for it to come off. It was the old Terry Sheringham, wasn't it, from years ago? I mean, a superb finish as well from Rashford.
That's Eriksen's 5th Premier League assist as well, based on what Mickey was just saying. Now, Martial for Manchester United. Going down the left-hand side, level of the area, slips slightly, but he still keeps possession under pressure from Bolly. Bolly's won it back, in fairness to him, and he's won a throw for Nottingham Forest down the far side of the field. 1-0 to United, and we're approaching the midway point of the first half.
Yeah, you want to see that more from Anthony Martial, don't you? Being involved in the game, he kind of drifts out. You don't see him, or you don't talk about him for 5 minutes. It was pretty much the same on Wednesday night against Burnley as well. You know, you're wondering if he's actually still on the football field. But when he does, when he gets turned, I mean, what a player he can be.
Awani bursting in the inside right channel, trying to get the better of Casemiro. What a challenge. What a challenge to win it back for Manchester United. Awani was threatening to get away, and now Rashford is getting away down the left-hand side for Manchester United. Squares it for Martial at the edge of the area. It's in. 2-0. Hennessy couldn't keep it out, and a swift Manchester United counter-attack sees Rashford, the scorer of the first, tee up the second for Anthony Martial from the edge of the area, low and true into the bottom corner. Hennessy got a right glove, but it wasn't enough, and Forest find themselves 2 down in an instant. Manchester United 2, Nottingham Forest 0.
Well, it doesn't get any better than that. And somebody who deserves a lot of credit for that goal is Casemiro. The challenge he makes to start that move off is absolutely top class. Great ball from Bruno Fernandes down the line, and then he just put it across the 18-yard area for Anthony Martial. I was just talking about drifting in and out of games. He needed a goal. He's got himself on the score sheet. But Dance, does Wayne Hennessy, and he's a friend of mine, I think he has to do a little better with this, doesn't he? I mean, it's got pace on it, but if you get 2 hands on it, I think you've got to make that save. Yes, he sees it late, but I think he has to make the save. Look, he's not played a lot of football. We know that over the last 4 or 5 seasons. Fantastic goal from Manchester United's perspective, but I don't think that ball should find its way into the back of the net.
Well, the strike from Martial went through the legs of Willy Bolly at the edge of the area. That might, as you say, Mickey, have unsighted Wayne Hennessy, so his movement was a little delayed, but his right glove couldn't prevent it from trickling into the net. And Anthony Martial has his 3rd Premier League goal of the season. Scored against Villa recently as well in the EFL Cup. And Forest have won a free kick, and my word, they've got work to do now for Steve Cooper and co. They have at Old Trafford.
They have done, and actually they started the game very well. If you think about it, 18-19 minutes in, they had a bit of possession themselves, got themselves down the flanks on a couple of occasions. They all looked confident and compact, but over the last 3 or 4 minutes, they're at 6s and 7s. They're all over the place. You've got midfield players running in behind centre halves of Manchester United, leaving gaps on the left and right hand side, and that's where they capitalised. They punished them on 2 occasions.
But they do have a free kick right out on the far touchline, almost level with the Manchester United penalty area at the Stretford end. It's going to be swung in from the right-hand side by Aurier. Terrible free kick. Hit the first defender, Ericsson, at the near post, but it is worked back out to that right-hand side. Lingard works it in field to Freuler, looking to release Lingard down the right-hand side of the box, but it's just overhit by Freuler, and Lingard runs down that slope you have on this Manchester United pitch that I bet has caught a few players out down the years.
Fell down there a few times, Dance. Chasing after Kanchelskis, Giggs, Beckham. It's not a nice place to be.
Certainly not chasing after the ball, right? Just chasing after the player.
Absolutely.
Manchester United 2, Nottingham Forest 0, exclusive on Talksport this wet evening in Manchester. It's Tuesday, right?
It is Tuesday, yeah.
We're still in Crimbo Limbo, aren't we? We still don't know what day of the week it is.
It's crazy time, isn't it? But I think what Man United can do now they've got that second goal, they can dictate the pace of the game. They don't have to force things unless they want to. We know in the past they've obviously had big results against Nottingham Forest, the 5s and the 8s. And when you mentioned in 1999, maybe they've got that in the back of their mind, but it could be one of those nights for Nottingham Forest if they don't book up their ideas in the next few minutes and get themselves back into this game.
Ericsson out to the left and Malacia. Now Martial, who scored United's second, takes over. Malacia again. Martial, lovely poke out to the left-hand side for Anthony. Malacia goes for the byline, tries to pull it back at the near post. Went to ground, it was half cleared by Bolly. One back by Anthony. The ball's out of play for a throw. It's currently then Manchester United 2, Nottingham Forest 0. For the latest odds, head to Ladbrokes, where right now you can get United 40-1 on to win. The draw 25-1, and if you fancy a stirring Forest comeback, that's 90-1. That's all thanks to Ladbrokes. Just play at ladbrokes.com. It's 18 plus, please. BeGambleAware.org is the website that you need. We played 26 minutes at the Theatre of Dreams. Manchester United 2 goals to the good. Forest trying to win the ball back, and there was a heavy challenge that saw 2 players go down. One of them was not Freud, it was Aurier and Yates that went down, and Aurier is looking in some distress, and Anthony Taylor has gone over to sort things out on that far side. I'm trying to see which United player it was that clattered into Aurier. 2-0 United.
I think it looks like Anthony who's on the ground there, Dance, but it's just a coming together. I think it's Malaysia as he goes to ground. I mean, he wins the ball.
He's won the ball.
I don't know what Aurier is. I mean, Sergio Aurier is over that right-hand side. He's not had the best of starts in this game, I have to admit that. When he goes to ground there, I mean, I don't see where the contact is or how strong it is for a player to stay down for that long. I mean, it's an honest challenge from Malaysia. He's back on his feet now.
Well, there's a yellow card about to be administered by Anthony Taylor.
It's great. It's not a foul. It's a fantastic challenge.
And it is to Tiro Malacia, so he's the first player in the book. He won the ball, though. But the Dutchman is in Anthony Taylor's notebook, and Nottingham Forest, who failed to score in their last 5 Premier League away trips, only scored 1 away all season. That was Brennan Johnson at Everton in what ended up as a 1-1 draw for Forest early in the campaign. Now Lingard, once of Manchester United, gets the ball back from Aurier down the right wing. Ball works into the edge of the area for Ryan Yates, trying to turn away from Casemiro. First time cross from Aurier's block behind. It's another Nottingham Forest corner at the Stretford end. 2-0 to Manchester United on Talksport.
That's better. It's better from Nottingham Forest. Working the ball well over on that right-hand side. When they get that half a yard, don't even think about it. Put that ball into the area. You think all the height, the physicality of a Maguire or somebody else in that position. Luke Shaw is in there. It's a position that he doesn't know. And if you can put crosses into the box and cause Man United problems, you might get back into the game.
Renan Lodi's gone across to take another left-footed in-swinging corner at the Stretford. And this one's deeper. Actually goes beyond everybody in the yellow Forest shirt. Wan-Bissaka elects to keep it in play and tries to release Rashford on the counter-attack. Rashford's got the better of Mangala and was being pulled back. Appeal to Anthony Taylor. He agrees, and he's going to have a word with Oral Mangala, and possibly, indeed he is, going to issue a yellow card to the Forest number 5 for that.
Had to be, but that again, it's coming from a sloppy corner from Nottingham Forest. Put the ball into a dangerous area. It's overhit. It gives Manchester United to then counter-attack with the pace that they've got. Marcus Rashford does ever so well, just skips inside of Mangala, but then after that, he's pulling on his shirt, and you're just wondering, what are you doing?
Manchester United 2, Nottingham Forest 0. We've played 29 minutes at Old Trafford. Ian Danter and Mickey Gray with you. Don't forget, Leeds United against Manchester City. That's also live. Adrian Durham's going to be at Ellen Road tomorrow. Great atmosphere it'll be there. How do Leeds United pick up under Jesse Marsh? And of course, Manchester City have been sitting back and watching Arsenal take all 3 points to extend their lead at the top of the table. That's tomorrow night. Build up from 7 o'clock on Talksport. Leeds against Manchester City. Meantime, Manchester United 2-0 up. Have possession with Luke Shaw, who's been largely untroubled at centre-half so far tonight. Ball's infield to Casemiro. Fires it to the feet of Ericsson. Controls it brilliantly with his back to goal at the edge of the area. Now Martial, left-hand corner of the box, trying to roll away from Yates. Gives the ball back to Malacia. Little back heel, tried to set Malacia away again. It was Rashford trying to be clever at the edge of the area. Almost came off for him too. Well, the ball goes back.
It's too easy.
To his keeper.
It's too easy for them, Dance. The possession at the keep, and Manchester United, they're getting 20-25 yards out away from Nottingham Forest's goal. They're going to have to do something about it over on that right-hand side. Steve Cooper, he must be able to see it. It's not happening for his team. That conversation in the dressing room before kick-off, when you saw that starting 11 and you see that back line, the manager must turn around and say, we've got to threaten.
Ericsson, long ball downfield looking for Fernandes. It's hooked out to the right-hand side of the area, cleared by Bolly, and then a poor attempted clearance from Aurier. Had his pocket picked, and United have it back. Casemiro out to the left-hand side. Chance to whip the ball in. Rashford touches it off to Casemiro. Works it in field to Ericsson. Ericsson, centre of the half. Tries to chip it out to Wan-Bissaka on this near side. Lodi heads clear. And Awoniyi trying willingly to burst forward. He's got the better of Anthony. Although Mickey Gray thought there might have been a foul in there. Awoniyi is still barrelling forward for Nottingham Forest. He's won a ricochet. And Freuler now gives it to Yates, 30 yards out. Yates goes for goal, and De Gea puts it behind with his chest. He didn't want to handle that. It was straight at him, and it went behind of De Gea's chest for a third Nottingham Forest corner. 2-0 United.
Very surprised that actually didn't get pulled back for that foul on Anthony. He done ever so well to get himself into a position, but it looked like Awoniyi had pulled onto his wrist and dragged him to the ground. But after that, what a strike from Yates. Looked like David De Gea wasn't expecting it. It's moving around. He's chested it away. I mean, we see things from goalkeepers all the time, but what's the matter with his gloves tonight?
I think he thought Malacia was going to get a touch with his head as it sort of skimmed near to his forehead. But it is a Forest corner, and Lodi again has gone across to that far side where the Stretford end meets the Sir Alex Ferguson stand to deliver this latest corner for Nottingham Forest. Left-footed into the centre of the goal. It's headed away well this time. It was Casemiro who got the headed clearance, but it just breaks on halfway. No chance of a Manchester United counter-attack this time. In fact, it was Varane that got it clear, I beg your pardon. Ball's back with Wayne Hennessy. We've played 32 minutes, live and exclusive on Talksport this Tuesday evening. Manchester United holding sway, and Rashford, who scored the first and set up the second, is charging down the inside right position, tries to flick it down the right-hand side of the box for Anthony. Put too much on that Rashford, and it allowed the Forest defenders to get it clear, at least temporarily. Lodi putting it out for a throw. 2-0.
Well, what a chance again for Manchester United, catching Nottingham Forest on the counter-attack. Every single time they get themselves on the half-turn. A mistake from Lodi, giving the ball to Marcus Rashford. The last thing you want to do when you see that pace of Man United have got up front. You look a real threat now. As I said before, when you've got a 2-goal lead, things come a little bit easier to you.
Mickey Gray alongside me, Ian Danter here at Old Trafford. Adrian T2, he'll pick up at half-time. Burnley are still 1-0 up against Birmingham City in the One Championship game tonight. Reading beat Swansea earlier today in the Championship. Tom Ince scoring again for his dad. Here's Bruno Fernandes, right wing for Manchester United, centre of the midway point of the Forest half. Works infield for a moment, then tries to hit a diagonal ball looking for Malacia, but just shanked it slightly. 2 bounces and it's over the dead ball line for a Nottingham Forest goal kick. 2-0 United.
Sometimes you can find yourself out of a position and you get played around. What you want to see is a reaction from players, getting themselves back into positions. Lodi, 2 or 3 times he's found himself in a difficult situation on a 2v1. He's gone towards a midfield player, he's left the overlapping runner. They're just playing through the lines too easily, Manchester United. Look, it's 2-0 at the moment, but if they can sort the quality out in the final third, there's more goals for them tonight. Nottingham Forest and Steve Cooper have certainly got work to do, if not now, certainly at half-time.
11 minutes to half-time. Our second exclusive commentary of the day on TalkSport. Earlier, we brought you Chelsea's 2-0 win against Bournemouth, but Graham Potter confirming to our match commentator Alex Crook afterwards that Reece James has injured the same knee that saw him ruled out of the World Cup, but timeline of recovery is uncertain at this stage. Martial for United turns on halfway and fires into Ericsson. Ericsson trying to play a first-time ball through the middle, looking for Rashford. Idea was right, just didn't get the pace on the pass, and it's worked back by Forest defenders to Hennessy.
In the space of 3 or 4 passes, you can see on the half-turn, Manchester United using the pace in those forward positions. I think that actually could have been an offside. Marcus Rashford looked as if he beat the line, but again, it's Nottingham Forest just making silly mistakes. I mean, it's unconvincing when you're watching it dance, isn't it? I mean, they can't get the ball to the forward players. When it goes through midfield, they're giving the ball away. They're making mistakes themselves, and you just question yourself, where are the answers? There's no answers out there for them to get themselves back into this match.
Manchester United 2, Nottingham Forest 0. They do have a free kick, Forest, after Wan-Bissaka clattered into Jesse Lingard just inside the United half. It's very central, just ahead of the centre circle, so Nottingham Forest have the option to go left or right with this free kick, which Lodi is standing over. One centre half, Worrell right-hand corner of the box, Bolly left-hand corner, and it goes to the right-hand corner, looking for Aurier actually, brings the ball down, half-hearted claims for handball against the United player, but it's just hooked away and out of danger by Manchester United for a throw on the far side for Forest. 10 to half-time on TalkSport. 2-0. Marcus Rashford, well, Adrian talked about him before the game and whether United fans can latch onto him as a new hero in the now permanent absence of Cristiano Ronaldo. He scored the first and set up the second for Anthony Martial. Forest haven't been able to respond other than a long-range effort from Ryan Yates that was well struck and on target, but put behind off the chest of David De Gea.
And that's the problem that they have, Dance, isn't it? I mean, if you're relying on a player to try and score a goal from 25, 30 yards out every single week to get points on the board in this Premier League table, which is so difficult, it's not going to happen. It's going to catch up with you. Nottingham Forest have been in a position, yes, their form was a little bit better before the World Cup, and after that, in the EFL, they find themselves in the quarter-finals of that competition, but I'm sure if you ask any supporter, it's taken them that long to get back in the Premier League. It's about trying to stay here. From what I'm seeing at the moment, I just think there's a lack of quality.
Martial out to the Manchester United left. It's touched in field by Rashford. Eriksen takes over. Casemiro strokes it firmly to Anthony at the edge of the area. Tries to curl it from the right-hand corner with his left boot, but a bit too much on it. Hennessy was watching it all the way as it sailed wide for a Nottingham Forest goal kick. 2-0 to United. Is there an argument? I was talking about that before the game, about Forest arguably being the best team, or the team that needed that month break most in the Premier League in terms of players getting coached and getting an understanding with one another.
Well, I completely agree with that, Dance. It was something that we were having that chat about, wasn't it? But are the 23 players that Nottingham Forest walked through the door, are they Steve Cooper's players? That's the one thing that concerns me. I'm sure he brought in 8, 9, 10 of those players, but trying to bed them in and find the best 11 on a weekly basis is so difficult to do. And I said the lack of quality, I just think they're going to struggle for goals throughout the whole of the season, which is going to find them on the back foot.
Remember, after Steve Cooper signed an extension to his contract, 2 of the transfer committee at Nottingham Forest were relieved of their duties. So somebody carried the can for it. Here's Martial trying to latch onto a ball at the edge of the area. Volley swiftly across for Forest, and he gets the ball clear, but only as far as Eriksen. Manchester United have it midway point of the Forest half. Lovely ball from Eriksen, left to right, to pick out Wan-Bissaka up to the edge of the area. Bruno Fernandes trying to make room for a shot. He's forced away from the edge of the area. Now Anthony, right-hand corner of the box, plays a teasing ball in. Worrell heads it half clear. Amani trying to pick up the pieces, helped out by Lodi in the left-back position, who's nudged to the ground by Anthony. And Forest get themselves a free kick with 6.5 to the break on Talksport. Live and exclusive from Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 2, Nottingham Forest 0.
Cheap foul to give away from Anthony. No, Lodi made the most of it. He went to ground very quickly. I'm sure he was. He was being closed down. He had nowhere to go. But how easy it's been for Man United to switch that ball from left to right through midfield with no pressure on the ball whatsoever. And I mentioned it to you, Dance, before. If Man United can shore up and get a little bit better in that final third, there's plenty goals here for them tonight.
Varane clears the ball up to halfway for Manchester United, but it's won back by Mangala for Forest. Plays it through the legs of Casemiro, who just caught him. And Anthony Taylor gives Nottingham Forest a free kick just past the midway point of the United half, to the left of centre. And a chance to whip the ball into the penalty box at the Stretford end for the visitors here.
Well, this is a good chance. The set pieces have started to improve with Lodi's left foot. Lingard stood over the top of this one as well, but he's overhit 2 or 3. The first corner I think they had went to the near post. You've got to make these count. If the football's not great, set pieces, hugely important.
Lingard standing over the free kick, but he runs over the ball. Lodi addresses it, left-footed ball in good delivery, headed down and in. They do have a goal back, and it's Ryan Yates who has given Forest a route back into this match. The delivery from Lodi was absolutely superb, and it was just helped into the back of the net by Ryan Yates, the young Forest Academy graduate, and that gives those fans in the southeast corner something to cheer. Wonderful delivery. Slightly scuffed finish, but Ryan Yates won't care. It's Manchester United 2, Nottingham Forest 1.
What a ball. Talk about quality from set pieces. Well, you've just seen it. Lodi on this left-hand side, the little dummy from Lingard, and he whips it into such a dangerous area. Why have they not done this throughout the whole of the first half? When you look at that back line of Manchester United, you've got Varane, yes, granted, but the rest of them, you stand up against them 1v1, you look at the height that Nottingham Forest have got, you have to create chances. Yates wants it more than his markers. He gets in front of Wan-Bissaka and he just nods it into the ground. It might have took a little bit of a touch from a Man United defender, but super ball, super header, got them back into the tie. Hopefully, I think this might go to VAR, but back in this game.
Well, VAR's looking for a possible handball from Yates because he stuck out his right arm to balance himself, but just checking to see whether it struck his arm. It doesn't look like it has.
It's a difficult angle, Dance, isn't it? It might actually come off his elbow as it's coming down. I don't actually think he's made contact with his head, and this one might be rescinded.
Well, he headed it down into the ground. It's very hard to tell, even from the replays we're doing, and this is why. Is it a clear and obvious?
I don't think he's headed that, Dance. Look, I might be wrong from the angle that I'm watching in front of me right now, but I think it comes off his elbow, and it might actually even come off the Man United defender. Is it Malaysia? Could be in an offside position as well. but I don't think he heads it. I think it comes off his arm, and then if it does come off the player on the right hand side of Yates, it looks like he's in an offside position.
Well, VAR have taken about 5 different camera angles to look at this incident to decide whether it should be ruled out or not. Now they're checking for possible offside. Maybe they're satisfied that there wasn't a handball. Now they're looking to see whether Mangala, I think it is, was in an offside position when Yates headed it goals, because it appears that Mangala actually got the final touch.
Yeah. Well, if he makes contact with a dance, he's in an offside position. If it doesn't touch the Manchester United defender, who's in between them? And I think it could be Willy Bolly, who is actually in that position. If he makes contact, there you go. Right result.
Yeah, offside given. So it wasn't handball in the end from Ryan Yates, but it was his teammate in front of him, Willy Bolly, who just stolen a march on Malacia, and he did poke it in, Willy Bolly, so actively involved in play. Offside, goal chalked off. Still Manchester United 2, Nottingham Forest 0.
Well, look, they got to the right decision in the end. I have to say, from Nottingham Forest perspective, very unfortunate, because they talked about better quality. Well, what a ball into the box it was. Willy Bolly wasn't to know.
Well, Forest have it again. Lingard trying to ride the challenge of Casemiro. Rolls it up to Brennan Johnson at the edge of the area. Back to goal. Plays it right to Aurier. Aurier, first time ball into the box. It's too high for Awani. And it just bounces behind for a goal kick. But maybe that will fire Nottingham Forest and Steve Cooper up, the fact that that's been disallowed for the offside against Willy Bolly. Howard Webb's going to be happy with that, is he? Now he's the new referee,
yes,
Supremo?
I saw that. Well, I think he has to be, doesn't he?
Happy with the time taken, I mean, that's the thing with VAR.
Well, the quicker the better, Dance, isn't it? I think, you see how well it can work when you go to a World Cup, and we've got to try and do that ourselves. The quicker it's done, the quicker you can get on with the game. Then we're not waiting for another 10 added on minutes at half-time and full-time. The game needs to be flowing as much as it possibly can.
Secretly, I quite enjoyed that. Like 11 minutes of added time. Lots more jeopardy. Into the last minute of normal time. There'll be a fair chunk to add on because of that delay for the VAR check. Manchester United 2 up, and they have a throw 10 yards from the corner flag on the right hand side, attacking the east stand end away to our right. Wan-Bissaka finds Anthony Martial, lays it back for Varane. Luke Shaw just ahead of the halfway line, flicks it to his left for Malacia, gives it back to Shaw. He's just backpedaled back into his own half to receive possession back. Plays the ball along the deck to Martial. Lovely first time ball from Casemiro out to Eriksson on the left hand side, but his touch let him down, the Dane, and he commits a foul against Ryan Yates, and Forest have a free kick. Yates just hitting it long downfield, a bit hopeful, as we move into 3 minutes of minimum stoppage time at the end of this first half on Talksport. You are listening to Manchester United 2, Nottingham Forest 0 with Car Finance 24/7. Search Car Finance 24/7 today. Mickey Gray and Ian Dancer with you at Old Trafford. Out to the left hand side it goes, and Marcus Rashford, who's had an excellent half, worked back towards the edge of the centre circle, and Rafael Varane gets his head up, plays a short pass into the feet of Fernandes, who gives it back to the Frenchman, and Varane looks for his centre half partner Luke Shaw once again. Now Casemiro, who's come deep. Forest got everybody behind the ball, almost in their own third of the pitch, as Manchester United try and find a third goal to really set the seal on this first half display. Anthony, right hand corner of the penalty area, plays a terrific ball in, but everybody caught on their heels by it, and it goes out of play for a Nottingham Forest goal kick. 2-0 United.
Yeah, and it's Anthony Martial who finds himself in the 18-yard area from that ball whipped in from Anthony over on this right-hand side, and it's like he's not ready for it. He was caught flat-footed, wasn't really expecting the ball to come into the box. Well, what's evident out there, Dante, is Nottingham Forest, they're not laying a glove on Manchester United. It's like they're in awe of them, watching the football that they're playing in front of them and then springing into life when they get into their defensive 18-yard box. You can't win a football match like that. Look, their stats at the end of the game of, yes, okay, he ran 10.5k, fantastic, but what did you do with that 10.5k? Well, I watched Manchester United pass the ball around me all night long. That's not football to me. It's like a you play games in training, like shadow play you call it, where you still run around but you don't make any contact with the players. If you're going to be nasty and stay in the Premier League, you've got to have that mean streak about you. Yeah, we know Man United players individually are better than Nottingham Forest, but you've got to match them for spirit, and they're not doing it at the moment. The game's passing them by.
Mickey Gray's in a mood. Manchester United 2, Nottingham Forest 0.
I'm never in a mood.
Free kick to Nottingham Forest, and Anthony Taylor deliberately moved the ball back 4 or 5 yards from where Lodi had it set up. That was what the cheer was for. Comes out to Freuler, midway point of the United half, tries to chip it to the left-hand corner of the box where Awiniyi keeps it alive for the visitors. Poor touch allows Bruno Fernandes to slide in. There's another goal late on in the first half. This time it's in the Championship at Turf Moor. Talksport's Graham Beecroft.
Burnley 2, Birmingham City 0, and it came from Connor Roberts on 44 minutes after a 1-2 inside the penalty area. He controlled the ball with his right foot, shot home left-footed. Burnley 2, Birmingham City 0.
Awiniyi for Nottingham Forest will square the ball in field for Freuler. Now Aurier in the centre of the pitch for the time being, the right back. We've played almost the 3 minutes of added time. In fact, we have. As we reach 48 minutes, Anthony Taylor blows his whistle to signal the end of a first half where Manchester United took their time to get into the game, but Marcus Rashford put them 1-0 up after a terrific corner routine with Christian Eriksen from the right-hand side. Eriksen rolled the ball along the ground diagonally from the corner flag. Rashford made a run around all the Forest defenders and slammed it home quite superbly for his 5th Premier League goal of the season and his 2nd goal in 2 games. And then Rashford, following a quick counter-attack down the United left, sent the ball in field to Anthony Martial at the edge of the D. Sweet strike from the Frenchman. Hennessy in the Forest goal, couldn't keep it out. And that's the scoreline we have at half-time, despite Forest thinking they had a goal back. But VAR ruled out a header from Yates that was touched in by an offside Willy Bolly. At the break on Talksport, Manchester United 2, Nottingham Forest 0. Thanks, Adrian. No changes at half-time from either manager, so it's as you were at the start of the second period. Nottingham Forest will get us underway. They'll be kicking towards the east stand in this second half. The Forest fans in the southeast corner. We'll be hoping that they start the second half like they finished the first, Mickey, because certainly they were having the lion's share of the ball in the last 5 or 10 minutes of that first half.
Yeah, they did, and the quality improved, didn't it? The set pieces, which is obviously important to Nottingham Forest, certainly tonight. When they get themselves into that position, just compose yourselves a little bit, but try and take the game to Manchester United. First and foremost, grow back into the game.
I'll run you through the lineups in just a minute, but Mangala sends it out to the left-hand side, and Awiniyi is now making a strong run to the left-hand corner of the box. He looks a bit ungainly at times, Awiniyi, but he still manages to hold on to the ball quite often and make life difficult for defenders. He's worked the ball back to Willy Bolly. Ball's headed in field inadvertently to Ryan Yates. Turned into the edge of the area. Brennan Johnson tried to get a touch away from Malacia, who defended it well. But Johnson will have it again. Right wing tries to touch it past Malacia. Good ball into the box. Looking for Awiniyi, and Varane has to turn it behind for an early Forest corner in the second half. They have started like they ended the first half, but they're still 2-0 down.
Great start. Fantastic play. Worked it well down the right-hand side. Johnson, 1v1 situation. You want to see your wide player taking on a fullback. He gets a half a yard. Super ball into the area. And Awiniyi just has to try and get above Varane there. He gives him a little bit of a nudge, but great start.
Renan Lodi to take another corner. This will be a left-footed outswinger, though, from the on-loan Atletico Madrid defender for Nottingham Forest. Drills it into the near post, headed away by the first defender, picked up by Anthony, who can stride towards halfway. He's got Martial and Rashford making strong runs, tries to play across for a pass for Rashford. Only half cleared, and now Bruno Fernandes has it back for Manchester United. At the Stretford end, whips it into the near post, and it goes into the side netting for a Forest goal. Kicks of the lineups. De Gea in goal for United. Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Shaw. Yes, that's Shaw at centre-half. And Malacia in the back four. Casemiro and Eriksen in front of that. Rashford, Fernandes and Anthony in behind Martial. For Forest, Hennessy the keeper. Aurier, Worrell, Bolly and Lodi the back four. Yates, Freuler and Mangala in midfield. Johnson, Awiniyi and Lingard in attack. And Forest have just been awarded a free kick, have they? And the referee has allowed play to continue because they held on to the ball. Mangala finds Jesse Lingard, who's had a quiet return to Old Trafford. in the Nottingham Forest colours of yellow and blue this evening. Yellow shirts and socks with blue shorts. Manchester United in the traditional red shirts, white shorts, black socks, attacking the Stretford end as they so love to do in the second half of home matches.
Well, I mean, what a break from Manchester United, wasn't it? From a corner from Nottingham Forest. See that surge of red just piling forward, and Anthony again. His quality had to be better.
Well, it was the red arrows, wasn't it? The pace with which Martial and Rashford suddenly darted forward from nowhere, seemingly, but Anthony's ball didn't find either of them. Now, Awani's got some room down the left-hand side, tries to swing a crossover. Johnson was in good space, but the cross was blocked and put out of play by Wan-Bissaka. Well, in fact, it was Casemiro put it out of play. Very good defending. He's everywhere, isn't he?
Yeah,
Casemiro.
I mean, what a player. You knew he was a good player, dancing. When you look at his trophies that he's won through his career, I mean...
Yeah, but you heard the narrative when he arrived. Oh, he's done.
I was probably one of them, but he's impressed me so much. I mean, what a talent he is.
Manchester United playing the ball around the edge of their own penalty area, and they have conceded a throw in the end. It's good work from Serge Aurier down the left-hand side to earn the throw for Nottingham Forest. Little roar from the southeast corner where the Forest fans are, encouraged by what they've seen from the visitors. Here's Aurier again, space on the right flank, tries to whip a ball in to the near post and touched into the side netting. Real chance for Mangala, who'd stolen forward for Nottingham Forest, but just got too much on the effort. The angle was really tight. A lighter flick and he'd have got it on target, but he just smacked it into the side netting in the end. United goal kick, 2-0. with 4 minutes gone in the second half. Live and exclusive on Talksport.
Much more positive start from Nottingham Forest, taking the game now to Manchester United, which it should have done in the first half. And you saw that line-up, and certainly the back line, not really threatened it behind them too many times, but got the balls into better positions, putting the ball into the good area. I'm starting to cause Man United problems.
Ball headed away by Joe Worrell up to the halfway line. Awani tries to touch it down for Lodi, but that was really well intercepted by Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And he's won a throw for United on the far side, midway point of the Forest half. Work back in field to the halfway line, where Varane and Shaw, the centre-half partnership tonight. I don't know how much training they've done together on this formation prior to this game. Harry Maguire is, remember, on the bench, but Erik ten Hag saying he was still feeling the effects of an illness that saw him miss the game against Burnley, but he wanted to be part of it, quote unquote. Now Forest coming forward down the left hand side. Lodi whips an early ball across the face of goal. It was just a bit away from Awani, but Brennan Johnson did quite brilliantly to keep the ball in play tight to the dead ball line and then win a corner for Forest off Malacia. He had no right to keep that in play, but did so.
Well, Tyrone Malacia thought the ball was actually going to run out of play. Brilliant play to keep the ball in, but what about that cross? Lodi on the left hand side. It just upped the tempo. Listen to the away support now. They're giving the away fans something to actually cheer about. The players have come out with more intent and they're getting some joy from it.
Well, corner down beneath those Forest fans at the southeast corner to our right. A left-footed in-swinger to come from Renan Lodi. Once again, he had 2 or 3 of these in the first half. Goes near post, headed away by the first defender. And Manchester United trying to launch a counter-attack. It's Anthony. Rashford's in acres. If he gets his head up and spots him, floats the ball over to Rashford. He can bring the ball down on his chest. Players running either side of him now. One of them is Wan-Bissaka to his right, but Rashford trying to go alone through to the edge of the area, but the ball ricocheted away from him. But the move only partially breaks down. And then Lingard just got a foot in to try and take the ball away from Casemiro. And Varane has to go back into his own half to claim it. And Lingard has gone down and he's sat on his backside just shy of the halfway line, feeling the effects of that challenge.
Yeah, and he's just pulled up. You see his right leg dance is heavily strapped up, and it was before kick-off. Yeah. And as he just tried to burst through the gears there, I just wonder whether he's just tweaked his hamstring a little bit there, but it looks like there's going to be a change, and he's probably not going to... I mean, he's in front of us now, and how he started the game in the first place with a strapping like that, I do not know, but I think this is his race has run.
Lewis O'Brien, one of the summer signings from Huddersfield. There were 2 that Steve Cooper brought in from the Terriers, Harry Toffolo and the midfielder Lewis O'Brien, and he's immediately stripped and ready to come on. And Lingard on his return to Old Trafford is going to have to leave the scene here with 7 minutes gone in the second half, here live and exclusive on Talksport. Don't forget, The other half of Manchester get their exclusive Talksport commentary tomorrow night at Leeds United. Nigel Adderley and Lucy Ward will be on commentary, and Adrian there too. Presumably Lucy will have to sit between Nigel and Adrian if they start talking about England and Wales again, like they did the World Cup. Change being made. Lingard is being led up on the far side. He's getting a nice round of applause from those United fans in the bottom tier of the Sir Alex Ferguson, and he'll walk in front of the Stretford end as well before he heads down the tunnel. Good appreciative round of applause from those that remember that Lingard did have his moments as a Manchester United player.
He certainly did. Nice little touch there from the Manchester United supporters, and go back to having that strap on his leg. I mean, he must have wanted to play in this game so much tonight, Dance. He really must. I mean, it's not been his night, has it? But what an occasion for him, and it's just a shame that it's finished the way it has.
So Lewis O'Brien is on for Lingard, our first change of the night, with 8 minutes gone in the second half. Manchester United 2-0 up. Ball sent out looking for Rashford, but telegraphed somewhat, and it allows Serge Aurier to burst forward, gets just over the halfway, checks his run, passes infield to Freuler. Poor ball from Freuler looking for O'Brien, but comfortably picked off by the Manchester United rearguard, and Shaw fires the ball out to Wan-Bissaka, and you can just hear the remnants of the Manchester United applause as Lingard gets to the mouth of the tunnel down to our left-hand side, and will go back to the Forest dressing room for treatment.
Nottingham Forest, if they're going to get any joy from this game, and I think the sides that actually do come to Old Trafford and play with a high press are the sides that get more joy, because they're a little bit nervy at the back, Manchester United, and at the minute Nottingham Forest just sitting back. They're making it easy for this back line of United.
Now Lewis O'Brien trying to get his first meaningful involvement. Ball taken off his toe brilliantly by Luke Shaw, but then Malacia carried the ball too strongly downfield. In fact, Lingard's not heading down the tunnel, he's heading for the bench actually, so he's had the full run of about a good half of the pitch to get the applause of the Manchester United fans, but he's going to join the unused substitutes, or there would be so far anyway, just down beneath us, so we can watch the game.
Has he gone to the right dugout?
He has gone to the right dugout. Do you remember when Ron Atkinson went to the wrong dugout at the City
Yes.
Ground when he just took over as Forest manager? He saw the funny side. Manchester United 2, Nottingham Forest 0 on Talksport. Ian Dancer and Mickey Gray with you. Don't forget the Sports Bar coming up with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy to take your calls. After another busy day, Chelsea and Manchester United looking to seal 3 points. Chelsea have already done it. Manchester United are 2-0 up, but Forest are playing better. Yates, who had a goal ruled out by VAR just before half-time, finds O'Brien. Plays the little 1-2, he gets towards the edge of the area, just ran out of room. Manchester United win it back, and Rashford's got the afterburners on, charging down the left-hand side. Martial goes ahead of him. Rashford, oh, what a through ball to Bruno Fernandes, touches it off. Anthony draws a fantastic save from Hennessy. Comes out to Fernandes, right-hand corner of the box. Eriksson goes for goal and lifts it high over the bar. The ball from Rashford to pick out Bruno Fernandes was quite superb. And then an unselfish little flick on from Fernandes saw Anthony bring a good save out of Wayne Hennessy. Stays Manchester United 2, Nottingham Forest 0.
Well, I mean, what a move. Rashford's been absolutely fantastic, hasn't he? Every time he gets on the ball and he gets himself turned, something looks like it's going to happen. But Anthony, I have to say, 4 or 5 occasions, his quality's not been there with those crossfield passes. His crossing's been pretty poor. He's put one decent ball in the first half. He's got to score. He's got the whole angle, he's got the goalkeeper where he wants him. It's a brilliant move. Great little flick on there from Fernandes as well. But in the blink of an eye, Dance, isn't it? Man United on the front foot, the pace they've got, it's just ridiculous. You'd hate to play against it.
Well, they've now scored, if you include the goal that Martial scored in the first half to make it 2-0, Manchester United have now scored 6 goals in the Premier League this season from what you would call fast breaks. That's the most in the division, and now over a quarter of their goals have been scored this season using that method.
Well, it should be 7. He has to score. I mean, he's got the quality. We know he has, Anthony. I mean, he's had a great start to his career at United. Yes, I think he can still improve a lot. But when he's in that position with his left foot, he's a confident young lad as well. He's got to stick that in the back of the net. That's when you look at the top of the table and you see what Man City are doing. You see what Arsenal are doing. When they get themselves in that position, that finds its way into the back of the net. That's where they've got to be more clinical, United.
Your old mate Wayne Halsey would be telling you, I made a good save there.
Yeah, it was a good save, but he shouldn't have been able to get anywhere near it.
Manchester United 2, Nottingham Forest 0. You're listening to Talksport on this Tuesday evening in Crimbo Limbo between Christmas and New Year. And Manchester United have been in limbo trophies-wise.
Yeah, 5.5 years.
Nearly 6 years without a major trophy, but they are into the quarter-finals of the EFL Cup, and that will resume in a couple of weeks' time. We'll bring you lots of live commentaries from those quarter-finals of the Carabao Cup. And there's FA Cup before that, loads of live ties from the third round.
We'll be covering them all, Dance, on Talksport, won't we, surely?
I'll be off to Gillingham against Leicester for the lunchtime game on the Saturday in early January for the FA Cup tie. Gillingham, who are rock bottom of League Two, they lost at home to Colchester yesterday by Galton, who were just above them in the table. So Neil Harris is right under huge pressure. But Leicester were outclassed by Newcastle United yesterday in the commentary I did for TalkSport. That was one heck of a performance from the Black and White Army.
Do we have to talk about it?
Sunderland won. What's the matter with you? Shaw for Manchester United into the centre circle for Casemiro. Plays a calm pass back to Shaw. Now it's stroked out to the left-hand side for Christian Eriksen. Shaw again. Looks to lift it down the left-hand side. Eriksen taking it on. Malacia on the underlap, tries to pull it back. It's teed up by Fernandes for Eriksen. Again for Fernandes. They're trying to walk it into the minute, Manchester United, and this time Forest clear their lines. 2-0.
Too easy in the 18-yard area. Man United, little giving goals in the 18-yard box, but again, just couldn't get it out the feet. 4 or 5 Nottingham Forest players in front of the ball before they get the strike away, but look at this possession from Man United. It's so easy for them to go left to the right-hand side. And again, you know, they've started better, Nottingham Forest, in this second half, but I talked about laying a glove. Are they going to actually do it?
Fernandes into the area for Martial. Blocked by Hennessy. Breaks in front of goal and it's hooked away by Lodi to keep it away from danger. Suddenly, Martial in behind, left-hand side of the 6-yard box. But Hennessy there again to block. Rashford trying to get past Serge Aurier, but it just trickles over the dead ball line, and Forest have got more changes pending as they try and do something about this 2-0 deficit they have at Old Trafford as we approach the hour mark, live and exclusive on Talksport. 2-0 to the Red Devils.
Every time they break, Manchester United, they look like they're going to create something. They look like they're going to score goals, albeit for Wayne Hennessy in that Nottingham Forest goal. Made some super saves. Basically kept his side in it. It's still 2-0. If they get the next goal, it's game on.
O'Brien giving chase to a ball lobbed down the inside right channel for Forest, and Varane coolly, calmly, casually puts the ball out of play for a throw. Is that Garnacho ready to come on for Manchester United? I think it is.
Yeah,
scored that dramatic late winner against Fulham just before the World Cup break, and it could be a sighting of the lesser spotted Donny van der Beek as well.
Well, I was actually surprised Donny van der Beek didn't play against Burnley. I think there was a lot of changes in that midfield area as well. He was on the bench, never came on the field. They made changes as well. Garnacho actually played, and he didn't have one of his best games, but he's exciting a lot of people at this football club, Dance, with his pace, his quality, scoring goals now.
Well, it's a double change for Manchester United and a triple change for Nottingham Forest. Harry Toffolo and Sam Surridge are already stripped and ready to come on. And there's going to be another change as well. I think it's Emmanuel Dennis who's being thrown on as well, but Awani is going off to allow Surridge to come on. One-time Bournemouth Academy graduate Sam Surridge, and coming on for Remy Lodi is Toffolo. So a straight switch at left back. And the other change sees Mangala come off to allow Dennis to come on. Whilst that change is being effected and the two Manchester United changes are about to be made, let's check in at Turf Moor in the second half in the Championship with TalkSport's Graham Beecroft.
It's still Burnley 2, Birmingham City 0, so if it stays like this, Burnley will go, or will stay, I should say, top of the table, but they'll go ahead by 3 points above Sheffield United. Second half has been a bit of a non-event, really. Not too much to get to write home about, but it still means that Burnley are in a comfortable position in this one. Burnley 2, Birmingham City 0.
A little high boot from Bruno Fernandes on Willy Bolly, but they exchange a little hug and it's just a free kick to Nottingham Forest, who still trail by 2-0 here, but they've made that triple change. Manchester United have just held back on that double change they were going to make at the same time, and it looks like Dennis and Surridge are playing up top as a front two, and Brennan Johnson's moved into a more of an attacking central midfield position.
A little bit of a different system for Nottingham Forest. Now try and play 2 forward players, so they're going to try and get the ball forward a little bit quicker if they possibly can. Put a bit of pressure on this back line of Manchester United, but he needed to do it, Steve Cooper. The game was passing them by.
Well, De Gea just played a really poor pass out to Luke Shaw at the edge of the area, who's been closed down by 3 players, but he still managed to get it clear for Manchester United. Wan-Bissaka carries the ball over halfway. Now Casemiro just chips the ball over to Malacia. Now Garnacho and Van der Beek are ready to come on for Manchester United. 63 minutes gone on Talksport. You're listening to Manchester United 2, Nottingham Forest 0 on Talksport with Now Sports. Don't forget that with Now Sports you can stream the Premier League live without a contract from £11.99. Search Now Sports, 18 plus, stream via internet, terms apply. Now this is a front two that Forest have now, Mickey Gray, that should, in theory, give Luke Shaw a little bit more to think about as an auxiliary centre-half this evening.
Well, you would think so. Oh, there's obviously a little bit of energy come onto the field. We know that Dennis is a top centre-forward. He likes to get in behind. Surridge as well, who's a very good player. He's been around a little bit. He's a good player. He'll work hard until the end of the game. They've got to create something. They've been getting into better areas, certainly on the right-hand side, but you need somebody in the 18-yard box to put the ball in the back of the net. Steve Cooper's he's noted that. He's had a look. Okay, I'm going to change the system a little bit. Let's ask him questions of Manchester United. Well, let's hope they can get themselves back into the game, because they need something. They need that spark, something to happen in this second half for them.
So the 2 changes, see Anthony and Martial come off. Van der Beek and Garnacho are the players coming on to replace them. Interesting to see what that does to the Manchester United formation. We've seen the switch from Nottingham Forest to a front two, but with the 18-year-old Argentine under-20 international Alejandro Garnacho on. Rashford has now gone through the middle. Yes, for Manchester United, it seems. 2-0 to Erik ten Hag's men. The rain finally appears to have relented for the first time, or if it's there, it's very, very fine drizzle at Old Trafford. Certainly a lot lighter than it was when it was teeming it down in the first half. Luke Shaw plays the ball in field to Ericsson. Manchester United get the ball up to halfway with Malacia. Fires a ball out looking to the right hand side. It's neatly kept in play over on that far side. Now calling for it is Casemiro. Ericsson to his left, but it's rolled back instead to Varane and Shaw on halfway. Approaching the midway point of the second half with a quarter of the game to go. Ball turned around the corner by Malacia for Garnacho, who's hugging this left-hand touchline. Shaw receives the ball on halfway, just turns away from Surridge, and Varane now finds Casemiro. Back out to the right-hand side, neat 1-2. It's floated up to the edge of the area looking for Rashford, but Forrest can get it clear. Surridge inside his own half gives the ball back to Joe Worrell. Hennessy didn't look particularly happy to receive that on his right foot, switched to his left and got it clear. Though Dean Henderson, remember, for Nottingham Forest, can't play against his parent club. Now Brennan Johnson keeps the ball in play on this near side again, defying the laws of gravity. It seems to keep that ball in play and himself on his feet, but United win it back.
Yeah, simple from Luke Shaw there, very clever. You just hear the supporters going crazy because Manchester United played the ball back. It was Terrell Malaysia over on this left hand side. They want more goals.
He's not allowed to play the ball back here, are you? Garnacho approaching the left hand corner of the box. He's got Van der Beek in support, fires it in, and it's Rashford who forces another save from Wayne Hennessy. Blocks it behind with his right boot at the Stretford end for a Manchester United corner. 2-0.
Well, again, it's too easy for Manchester United just to get out. Started off in their own half, winning the ball back, play some nice football down the left hand side. Garnacho plays into the other sub, Donny Van der Beek. Nice little ball back to Rashford, who's now playing through the middle with his weaker left foot. Decent effort, keeps it low, and again another super save from Wayne Hennessy.
It's a corner kick though that Eriksson is going to take right next to the tunnel where the Stretford end meets the Sir Bobby Charlton stand. Right-footed in-swinger into the near post, and it's another corner. It was Worrell that got there first, and Eriksson will have another corner from a similar position. Right-footed in-swinger to come. Holds aloft his left arm. This goes into the near post, and again first defender gets there ahead of anybody in a red shirt, but Manchester United pick up possession once more down the left hand side with Shaw. Well, Eriksson thought Shaw had continued his run for a 1-2, but he hadn't, and Hennessy will clear for Nottingham Forest. Eriksson tries to chest the ball down. Did he get a boot in his head inadvertently from Yates? Well, Anthony Taylor thinks so. And United have taken the free kick quickly. Van der Beek down the left-hand side, trying to get around Serge Aurier. And he, at first, thought the ball was going out for a goal kick, then suddenly realised he'd had the last touch. Couldn't prevent it going behind. Another corner for United, 2-0.
It's just so scrappy, isn't it? I mean, you can't do that. If there's no player on there, just clear your lines. Get it as far away from your goal as you possibly can. And then Man United, is that everybody's pet hate dance? When a corner's been taken and you don't beat the first man. Supporters, us doing a commentary on the game here now. I mean, there's no player stood at the front post. Just play it towards the back stick and give yourself a chance of scoring goals.
Fernandes to take this corner. Better delivery, but still cleared away by a Forest defender, who's gone to ground, claims for a handball. Not given, and Nottingham Forest will try and break the lines downfield. Surridge looking for Brennan Johnson. He's only got Shaw with him, trying to drift out to the left-hand corner of the area, then tried to touch it inside Shaw and move in field. Shaw got a vital footing, but it's still with Nottingham Forest. Emmanuel Dennis making a strong run to the edge of the area, tries to toe poke it through. Johnson saved by De Gea, volleyed back towards goal by Surridge and claimed by De Gea right in front of his goal line. Better from the visitors, but it's still 2-0 United.
Well, I mean, I'm surprised Marcus Rashford's still having a word with Anthony Taylor now. He's asking for a penalty. He thought it came off the defender's arm, but then they all switched off, which gave Nottingham Forest the opportunity to break down the left-hand side. That ball into the 18-yard box just needed more pace on it. Johnson had a 1v1 situation, but it got stuck in the grass. That's the type of quality I'm talking about. It has to be better. And then they eventually get the strike away. David De Gea at his near post making a double save. Yes, a save that he should make. Second one being very simple, but it's better. The movement's better from Nottingham Forest, but they just need to get a hold of that ball a little bit more.
It's easy to say, and he doesn't have a great deal of Premier League experience, of course, but I do think they're missing Morgan Gibbs-White this evening, who's got a knock and isn't in the squad tonight for Nottingham Forest. Watched him many times for Sheffield United last season and thought he would make the step up superbly when he went to Nottingham Forest, helped them win promotion.
Well, he had a very good season, Dance, didn't he? I think the question mark about him was, would he be able to score goals in the Premier League? Well, I think he scored 2 in his last 2 games, but then, you know, he needs to be playing every single week, and they've got to provide the service for him, because I think that's going to be the problem for Nottingham Forest, is getting up the pitch.
Garnacho trying to get in behind Aurier into the area. Oh, good touch from Aurier. It's a great run from Garnacho. Seemed to be getting ahead of Aurier at first, bursting down the left-hand side of the box. Just a little toe in from the Forest right back means it's another Manchester United corner, and Eriksson's back on duty at the tunnel.
Well, 2 great balls from Luke Shaw, a diagonal, and this one played down the line to Garnacho. What a foot race that was.
Eriksson again. He's now got Bruno Fernandes come over to him for a short corner routine, or is Fernandes just going to shout at him to say, don't hit the first defender? So it goes deep to the far post. Oh, Hennessy went to punch and completely missed it, like Superman flying through the air but not connecting with the villain. Ball's gone back into the area. Casemiro gets it back from Wan-Bissaka, tries to chip Hennessy, who touches it over the bar. Delightful chip from Casemiro. Hennessy equal to it though. Another corner over on the far side this time for Manchester United. 2-0.
It's brilliant from Casemiro. He sees Wayne Hennessy, he's a little away from his goal line, just tries to dink it over the top of him. It's absolutely fantastic. Would have been an outstanding goal, but great pressure from United.
Another corner for Eriksson to swing, and goes in front of goal. Van der Beek deflected wide for another corner It just came all the way through. A few players fell over at the near post, snaked its way through to Van der Beek, left-hand side of the box, drove it goalwards, and it hit Remo Freuler off his back and went behind for another Manchester United corner. Pushing for a third and decisive goal here, Manchester United, 2-0.
You can feel it in the stadium. A lot of pressure from Manchester United. Great opportunity for Van der Beek.
Eriksson into the near post. It's along the 6-yard line and half cleared. And then Dennis does well to dispossess Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Skips up towards the halfway line. Holds on to it well, Emmanuel Dennis. But a poor ball in field. And Bruno Fernandes trying to chip Hennessy from 50 yards. And it clips the roof of the net on its way over. Great vision from Bruno Fernandes as the ball just rolled to him. The effort clipped the roof of the net on its way over, and Hennessy's blushes are spared. 2-0 United.
Oh, I mean, it's great. I mean, you can see the confidence now, can't you? I mean, probably wouldn't have even tried that last season, Bruno Fernandes, because he's dipping form. But he just has a little look. He sees Wayne Hennessy up his line. As that ball comes back to him, what an effort that is. I mean, we would have been talking about that for a long, long time. I think Wayne Hennessy's just had a big breath, hasn't he? To say thank goodness for that.
Well, here come United again with Bruno Fernandes looking to find Rashford in the area. Bolly gets an important foot in. Nico Williams meantime has come on for Serge Aurier as a full-back replacement. You're listening to Manchester United 2, Nottingham Forest 0. For the latest odds, head to Ladbrokes, where right now you can get the draw 45-1, Rashford to score a brace at 4-1, and United to win 4-0. You can get that at 11-4. That's all thanks to Ladbrokes. Play at ladbrokes.com. 18 plus, begambleaware.org. 16 minutes of normal time to go, and a yellow card for Christian Eriksen for pulling back on the shirt of Ryan Yates as he was trying to roll Eriksen just over the halfway line. Don't forget, Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy back with the sports bar tonight, 10 o'clock. 03717223344. Well, it'll be just after 10 o'clock by the time we're done here for you to get your calls in on today's action and what you Manchester United fans think about the fact that Cody Gakpo is going to Liverpool and not, as we suspected, Manchester United, who we thought were at the front of the queue. Here's Garnacho looking to make it 3-0. Oh, he skips past Williams, gets to the byline, pulls it in front of goal, and it's cleared away. Toffolo came across from left back. There weren't many United shirts ghosting in on that cross, but great run, and the skip past Williams from Garnacho was brilliant.
It's fantastic football. It really is. From one end to the other, one touch passing, great ball from Fernandes. Garnacho does ever so well, using that pace, a little chop, gets into the box. Just want a little bit more of a crisper pass, but does anybody want to actually get into the 6-yard box? I think it's Donny van der Beek who just stands still waiting for the ball to be pulled back. But great performance. Dance, I have to say, well, Aaron Wan-Bissaka tonight has been absolutely fantastic. He really has been out of the frame for a long, long time. Yep. I saw him midweek. He set up the first goal for Christian Eriksen. What a performance he's put in tonight. Not a foot wrong. And he's getting in the opposition's half, putting balls into the box, making things happen. Great performance.
Van der Beek finds Garnacho down the left-hand side, but he's offside, says the flag on the far side. Double change coming up for Manchester United, and Harry Maguire is going to get a run out. Luke Shaw got the nod as the centre-half alongside Varane whilst Maguire's recovering from illness, but he's going to be given 15 minutes or so to show what he can do. But first things first, Fred is coming on for Christian Eriksen.
Well, two changes, Dance. I think 12 months ago, you know, you'd have had your hands in your head. But because of the way that Man United are playing, I think the squad's now healthy. Fred coming onto the pitch gives them that little bit of dynamism in midfield, more energy. And Harry Maguire questions why he didn't start the game in the first place, but Rafa Varane obviously he's had a long World Cup. He's never really put a foot wrong tonight. Gives Harry Maguire the opportunity to fit into that back line along Luke Shaw. So it's
and
all
a nice
great
reception for Harry Maguire as well, we should say, coming on there. You know, sometimes he's been vilified, but we all saw his performances for England at the World Cup, and he allows the ball to run across his body so De Gea could clear. The United fans were just singing Viva Ronaldo as well just a little while ago, just to remind everybody But they sang about Cantona for years after he left, didn't they? They were singing that ooh-ah Cantona
Well,
song.
I think they changed the words on Wednesday night, Dance, to that song. I won't tell you what they were on air, but if they are singing that now, then maybe he's been forgiven, because Man United are winning football matches still.
Here's Nico Williams for Forest at the other end, trying to whip the ball in, and it deflects off Fred and behind for a Forest corner. They're not done yet, the visitors. 13 minutes to go. Manchester United 2, Nottingham Forest 0. Forest corner in front of their own fans.
Well, 2-goal deficit. You're never comfortable, you're never safe. You've always got to keep thinking until that final whistle goes. Nottingham Forest takes one split moment.
Toffolo with the corner, headed away at the near post by Rashford. But Lewis O'Brien trying to get there first, and does, down the left-hand side. Can he whip the ball in? It's well blocked by Wan-Bissaka. Here comes another break for Manchester United. Rashford waiting on halfway, but it's won back by Forest this time. Dennis is casually dispossessed by Casemiro. Makes it look like the easiest thing in the world. Hands down by his side almost.
Rolls Royce when he plays. Never flustered. Sometimes, yes, he gives the ball away, but defensively, so switched on, so clever in that midfield out. He's made Man United a much better side.
Well, you think about that Real Madrid 3 he played in, alongside Kroos and Modric.
It's not bad, is it?
And he was the underrated one of the 3, the overlooked one of the 3.
Yeah.
And he's slotted into life at Old Trafford like he's been playing here for 5 years. Johnson for Forest meantime. Ball goes into Yates. It's fouled by Luke Shaw, who's still playing at centre-half now. He's got Harry Maguire for partner rather than Rafael Varane now. So how do you think he's done?
He's done very well. I mean, I think he should have been tested a lot more.
You ever played at centre-half as a left-back? Ever?
Have you seen the height of me?
I know, but Luke Shaw's not exactly 6'5", is he?
I put my long studs in that day when I was playing centre-half, but no, I've not. I played right back, right wing, centre midfield, left wing. I don't think I played as a centre forward. Maybe when I was shattered at the end of a game once, I think they put me up front. I was knackered, but
I've just been corrected. It wasn't Viva Ronaldo they were singing. It was Viva Garnacho.
Okay.
Maybe there's another new hero in town. Now, Forest have a free kick midway point of the United half. Clipped into the box by Nico Williams. Worrell trying to head it across. There's a United player gone down. Anthony Taylor sees nothing wrong. O'Brien just nicks it down the left-hand side of the box, and it's a goal kick. They wanted a corner, Forest, but nothing doing, says Anthony Taylor. And we tick round towards the last 10 minutes of action here on Talksport, exclusively live at Old Trafford. Earlier today you heard Chelsea beat Bournemouth by 2-0 in the 5:30 kick-off. United lead Forest by the same scoreline. Mickey Gray.
Dan, I mean, let's not forget. Think about the players that are actually not in the starting 11, or actually still not here at Manchester United. You know, Martinez, absolutely fantastic since he walked through the door. And then you've got Elanga, you've got Jadon Sancho if he comes back fitter and fresher and he gets himself right. This squad looks a lot healthier now. When I talk about competition for places, where you've got probably a player in each position times 2. And if they strengthen in January, whatever they're going to do, if they bring in another centre forward, you're not going to miss Cristiano Ronaldo. And certainly if they keep putting in performances like this, they're going to keep climbing the table and give themselves that opportunity of finishing in the top 4.
There was an argument that it was tough for any Manchester United manager to play Bruno Fernandes and Cristiano Ronaldo in the same starting 11. Fernandes hasn't had star billing necessarily tonight. I think Rashford takes that at the moment, but maybe a little freer and easier for the other Portuguese.
Yeah.
Now here's a lovely little flick from Fred to get Cyril Malacia away down the left-hand side. He whips a ball in that's hooked away by Bolly, kept in play brilliantly by Nico Williams, down by the corner flag at the Stretford end, and he wins a throw off Van der Beek so Forest can get the ball downfield. But we're into the last 9 minutes at Old Trafford. Manchester United 2 up on Nottingham Forest. They will stay in 5th, but they'll steal a bit of a march on Liverpool, just below them in the table, and just keep the top 4 guessing.
Yeah, and I think, you know, if they do go on and win this game, Man United, well, I think it puts them a point behind Spurs with a game in hand. Things are looking really healthy. Quarter-finals, Europa League as well, let's not forget that, and the FA Cup. So they're fighting all fronts, which is you should be doing at a club like Manchester United.
Fred into the feet of Bruno Fernandes. Forest win the ball back, try and bring it clear. Fernandes trying to stick his foot in, and then a foul on Lewis O'Brien. means it's a free kick, and Van der Beek immediately stood in front of the ball to stop Forest taking it quickly. They do try and take it quickly, and they found Brennan Johnson, right hand side. Surridge calling for it in the area. Johnson, right hand side of the box, hits it across, but it's blocked behind by Casemiro.
Fantastic. You talk about all the quality of the passing and his reading of situations, but working hard for your team. Great move from Nottingham Forest again down the right hand side. Brennan Johnson's just thinking to himself, just got to pull this back towards the penalty area. Casemiro gets himself into a position, sticks his leg out, and all that hard work of getting yourself back into a position. And just listen to that round of applause that he got just for making a challenge like that.
Corner kick to be swung in by Toffolo, deep to the far post. Worrell nods it back across goal and hooked away hurriedly by Luke Shaw, almost from underneath his own crossbar. Forest win it back, flicked out to the right hand side. Toffolo again tries to drive it in left footed. It's blocked by Casemiro, that man once again getting his foot in, and he's won a throw for Manchester United as well off Toffolo. Almost apologetically wins it actually, Casemiro.
Yeah, but again, this second half performance from Nottingham Forest, albeit there's been mistakes there, Manchester United have had a lot of chances. It's the way they have to start games, Dance. Got to get themselves on the front foot. They've got to show that little bit of quality in the final third. If they don't do that, they're always going to be chasing games, and they'll find themselves in that bottom three for the rest of the season. But if they've got that bit of quality, show some pace and desire, there's goals in the side, there's no doubt about it, but Steve Cooper's got to find the right balance.
Williams for Forest, tries to drive the ball in, breaks for Brennan Johnson, right hand side of the penalty area. United win it back, long ball downfield, seeking out Rashford, but he runs out of ground before it skips over the touchline. Tyrell Malacia is down, he's just picking himself up. I don't think he's going to need any treatment. Don't forget, tomorrow night, live and exclusive on Talksport, we're at Ellen Road. Always guaranteed a brilliant atmosphere. Leeds United against the champions Manchester City. On air from 7. Adrian Durham's there hosting. He's with us tonight at Old Trafford too. Nigel Adderley and Lucy Ward will be alongside Adrian on commentary. And you mentioned Anthony Elanga a moment or so ago, Mickey Gray.
Yeah.
He's going to be on in a minute.
Like him a lot. Good player. He's very direct. Got great pace. He's just a fantastic addition to this Manchester United squad.
De Gea gets it up towards halfway, but Nottingham Forest win it back. Two headers from Nico Williams to keep the ball alive, and he drives down the right hand side. Fred and Malacia watching him. Still got it as Nico Williams hits it against Fred, and it goes out of play right by the corner flag for a Nottingham Forest throw, although the two United players adamant with the assistant that it was their throw.
Yeah, they thought the ball came off Nico Williams. Good play from Williams.
He's offside though. Elementary mistake as he received the ball back from Johnson, and Manchester United end up with a free kick right by their own corner flag, left hand side, and that will allow the change to be made, I think, although Anthony Taylor's just telling David De Gea to get a wiggle on and take this free kick, but Elanga is now being ready, so the change is going to be made. So that the young striker, 20 years of age, an academy graduate, yet to score for Manchester United, and it's Marcus Rashford, rightly getting a standing ovation from right round Old Trafford. A goal and an assist and a brilliant performance.
Superb. Showing us the form and confidence that we've seen all season from Marcus Rashford. He's back to his best. An assist, a fantastic goal, and his confidence just keeps flowing every single time I play him. He looks like he's enjoying his football again, Dance, and that's only great for Man United.
2-0 they lead, and we've got 4 minutes of time to go, and Van der Beek and Garnacho almost broke through. Here is Elanga, first involvement down the left hand side of the box. It's smuggled away by Forest defenders, but Fred going in strongly to win it back left wing, teases the ball deep to the far post beyond Bruno Fernandes. Bolly gets it half clear. Dennis tries to bring it further clear, plays it infield, but it's won back by Casemiro, driving forward, plays it into the box. Fred! 3-0 to Manchester United. That sets the seal on it, and an unlikely source for the third goal in Fred. He did score against Spurs in October, second goal of the campaign, and a through ball, a slide rule pass from Casemiro, picked out Fred, left-hand side of the area, let the ball run across his body, and then smacked it past Hennessy into the corner. Manchester United 3, Nottingham Forest 0.
Well, what a finish from Fred. Finished off a great move. He started it with a brilliant challenge, puts the ball into the area, it's got a little bit too much on it. They can't clear their lines, Nottingham Forest. And who's in there to read the situation again? Casemiro. Brilliant through ball into Fred's path. First time into the back of the net. Absolutely superb.
Just intercepted Casemiro. Didn't even look up. It's like he instinctively knew where Fred was, running in from the left-hand corner of the box, and he didn't have to check his stride. It's the beauty of that pass. Fred didn't have to do anything other than run onto it and finish.
It's just brilliant, Dance. Casemiro, I mean, what a huge difference he's made to this Manchester United start. He's got a little bit of grit about him, but boy, he can pass the ball as well. He's got an eye for a pass. A super ball into Fred, and as you said there, he's just got to lay it in first time, just over the top of the goalkeeper, into the corner. Game over for Man United.
The theatre of dreams is very much a happier place to be nowadays. You're listening to Manchester United 3, Nottingham Forest 0 on Talksport with Car Finance 24/7. Search Car Finance 24/7 today. Dennis pulling the ball back from the near ball line, hits it against Casemiro. It's gone behind for a corner kick to Nottingham Forest with 2 minutes to go on Talksport.
I've got a problem at the end of this game because we know if we get the man of the match wrong,
I was going to bring this
we'll
up.
get a stare from my left-hand side. And Wan-Bissaka, Casemiro, and a young man who's just walked off the field scoring a goal and assist. I'm under severe pressure here.
Well, if Adrian doesn't like the nomination for a man of the match from pundit, he'll tell him. Here comes the corner meantime from Forest. Yates going up for a header. Manchester United trying to get it clear. Toffolo getting involved and then whacked over the bar by Joe Worrell. Maybe you should just give it to Raheem Sterling.
Maybe I should just ask Adrian. There's no pressure then.
Goal kick to Manchester United. 73,608 devotees inside Old Trafford this evening. What was it, 62 for the Burnley game last week?
Yes, it was. Yeah, because they couldn't get enough ambulance in around the stadium, so they had to close half of the Stretford end. But it was still a great atmosphere and another good performance. Dan, they've came back from this World Cup. They've hit the ground running.
Well, next up they go to Wolves. Julian Lopetegui got a win right at the death at Everton yesterday. So Molineux is Manchester United's next destination. Forest are at home to Chelsea next up. And Chelsea won 2-0 today against Bournemouth. Manchester United 3-0 up and still wanting more. Garnacho, left-hand side of the area, rolls it into Fred, urged to shoot, plays it to the right-hand side. Fernandes with a first-time ball across the face of goal. And Toffolo heads it away. We're moving into 5 minutes of minimum stoppage time at the end of the game.
It's going to be a long 5 minutes for Nottingham Forest because they can't get anywhere near the ball at the moment. It's Man United, a lot of possession, all full of confidence. The flicks, the tricks are coming out. Fred playing balls into the box with the outside of his left foot.
And Garnacho wriggling away down this left-hand side, tries to flick the ball in field to find Elanga, but it's hooked away by Forest up to halfway. Surridge gets a good flick on, and Johnson will almost burst onto this, but for a sensational foot-in by Luke Shaw. Putting that for a throw.
It's like watching Beckenbauer, isn't it? Luke Shaw playing centre-half. I mean...
Right, let's clip that. Anybody listening back at Talksport, just get that in the clips library. We can dig that out somewhere down the line. Luke Shaw, Franz Beckenbauer.
Well, I have to say, Dance, I mean, look, if you see, and I've mentioned it a few times in the commentary, if you see a lineup and Luke Shaw's playing centre-half alongside Varane, say Varane's a bad player, just been in the World Cup final, but you take risks, you take chances to try and get your centre forwards as close to them as you possibly can, get them turned to see what they're like as a partnership. He's been absolutely brilliant, Luke Shaw. I didn't mention him in the top players, but you have to mention him also.
Another corner to defend, though, because Forest have just won a corner. Toffolo hitting the ball against Wan-Bissaka, so it's gone out of play for a corner kick. And it's going to be swung in at pace from the right-hand side. To the 6-yard line, up go the heads, it drops for Worrell, knocks it back looking for Yates, but De Gea just grabs hold of it gratefully. and wants to clear it downfield first time of asking, but holds on to it in the end.
He had a chance to break there as well. He had Bruno Fernandes, Garnacho either side.
Now he does bowl it out over arm, and Van der Beek's in bags of space, just shy of the halfway line. There's 6 defenders in a line for Forest, midway point of their own half. Now 1 or 2 come out to engage Van der Beek as he strokes the ball out to the right-hand side. Fernandes, dispossessed, but then Fred wins it back. Plays a little square ball to bring Malacia into the game. Garnacho waiting for it, left-hand corner of the box, but Malacia tried a shot from the edge of the box. It's blocked away, tries to get it back from Wan-Bissaka, who's playing in the centre of the box, and they all want to score, it seems. Bruno Fernandes, ball dummied by Wan-Bissaka. Elanga takes over. Tried to play it along the 18-yard line looking for a teammate, but Forest win it back. We've got just over 2 minutes of minimum stoppage time to play. Forest coming forward at 3-0 down with Brennan Johnson. Trying to outpace Casemiro, does outpace Casemiro, pulls it back into the area, only finds a red shirt belonging to Luke Shaw.
Yeah, again, reading the situation, does ever so well, keeps his calm as well, Luke Shaw, but this line, I think there's a foul at the moment, Dan, so it's just been stopped the play, but where are Nottingham Forest? They're all over the place, and what you see in front of you at times like this is when you start to fear for them.
Well, you penny for the thoughts of Steve Cooper then, watching this performance.
Well, it's difficult. I mean, when I saw at the beginning of the season how many players were leaving the club after the success of getting themselves back into the Premier League, it was a worry for me. I know they had to make certain changes, but 23 players, I think it was, that came through the door was always going to be different. You ask any manager, right, there's 23 fresh players, now go and build a team and stay in the Premier League. It is so difficult, and I think that's what Steve's finding. Yes, I wouldn't call them freak results, but they'll have amazing results like they had against Liverpool. That was incredible for them. But they were hanging on for 89 minutes of that. You know, when they got the goal, it was so bizarre, the game. But what I see in front of me now is a lack of goals, a lack of creativity. Players basically playing as individuals because their system's just gone to pot at the moment. Yeah, they find themselves 3 goals down, but you have to keep your discipline in games in the Premier League, or you're going to lose every single week.
Manchester United 3 up. As we go into the last knockings, Casemiro drills the ball out to the left wing for Garnacho. He's got Nico Williams backpedaling, gets into the edge of the area. Still being watched all the way, so the ball's clipped to the left-hand side of the box for Fred. Brings it down superbly, plays it on the underlap to Bruno Fernandes, who runs into Bolly, and Bolly puts it behind for a late corner for Manchester United, 3-0 up.
Just seeing out time now, enjoying themselves, Man United. You can hear the supporters, albeit there's actually quite a lot of them have left the stadium, but it's the atmosphere still in the ground. But what a performance, sending out a message yet again to the Premier League to say, we're back.
So a corner kick for Manchester United at the Stretford end, drilled in early to the 6-yard line. Forest volley it away. Dennis trying to bring it further clear. He's done well, Emmanuel Dennis, looking for Brennan Johnson, but was just caught on his heels. But Fred had fouled Dennis, and the full-time whistle goes from Anthony Taylor, and Manchester United comfortable winners here by 3-0 against Nottingham Forest to move within a point of the top 4, and they've got a game in hand against Tottenham, who lie above them in 4th. No Ronaldo, no problem, because Marcus Rashford put in an excellent performance, scoring the first goal with a wicked assist from Christian Eriksen's corner, and then Rashford himself laid on the second for Anthony Martial. Forest had a goal ruled out by VAR for offside just before half-time. They did have good spells of possession either side of the break, but that fell away, and Manchester United got a third late on through Fred for his second goal of the season after a lovely slide rule pass found him from Casemiro. Very, very happy place to be, Old Trafford, and there's times I've been here commentating on games for Talksport in the last couple of years where that has quite spectacularly not been the case. But pretty much everybody, bar those Forest fans in the southeast corner, go home happy, although the Forest players going to their supporters and getting a round of applause for their efforts. But they were second best here. Full time at Old Trafford. Manchester United 3, Nottingham Forest 0.